And we're live. Welcome to a special edition of the Rig Report, where we're reporting the news from what's going on at day 2 of the final week of semifinals for the CrossFit Games. And a lot went down yesterday, a lot of leaderboard shuffling. Our leaderboard expert, Kat Shear, will pull that up at some point, but she has to pull her hair up first.
As soon as I fix my hair.
We're hoping to have a few guests on today. We have a couple confirmed and one possible.
Yeah, you never know.
Where
do we want to start?
Let's start strength and depth. That was the earliest one.
Of course, the one I don't pick. Yes.
Well, no, if you have Atlas, let's go Atlas.
Strength and depth, the boys. Because as long as they call us girls, I'm calling them boys.
Okay.
Right, Amy?
Yep, that's right.
So, sitting in first still, Willie George. Henrik Haapalainen is now moved from. Did he move?
Yeah, he was not much.
To second?
I think he was like third or fourth, and that was in second.
Yorgos Karavis is in third. Guillaume Briant is fourth, and Andre Houdet moved up into that coveted fifth spot. Yeah, the legless event is about to happen. Teams just finished, so that will be an interesting one for everybody. I don't know enough about these guys to know who's going to do well at that. I would expect everyone in the top 5 for it not to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to think Houdet and Haapalainen are very much taller than the rest of the field.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we'll do okay on those. I think this is a good test for Willie's shoulder.
True. Good point. Yeah, he might lose a little points there. The 6th, 7th, and 8th.
I think that's the big surprise.
Yeah, Jonakoski not in the top 5.
Yeah.
Definitely a surprise. He's got some things to do. And it's weird because his finishes aren't that terrible, right? I mean, what did we say? You have to sort of get an 8th place finish to make it. 9th, 4th, 13th, 9th, I guess. The numbers don't lie. And that's why he's on the outside looking in. But interesting placement for him.
But we also saw that isn't always true with Chloe Wilson. So
true. Yep. You can have sort of some freak performances and still not make it in. Okay.
Yes. So my takeaways from that were that Houdet with a first and a second yesterday really kind of got himself back in position.
Yeah.
I think Willie Georges is making a statement.
Yeah.
That he really is here, and man, Koski needs some help, because when you're in that 8th spot, it's not just about you; it's about those in front of you too.
Yep, it's about how everyone else does, which just sucks because it's really not in your control.
I'm feeling okay about it for him though.
He should do well in Last Chance, I would think.
Yeah, that's. Oh yeah.
And look at this.
Our girl Jacqueline.
Yeah, I believe I have her on my fantasy. Sure do.
Good job.
Actually, I have 3 of the top 6 right here.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jacqueline's doing great.
Good at legless.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter.
We got Emma McQuaid in second, Turi Helgadottir in third. And then there's sort of some major separation, 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're only 22 points between them, but they're a good 25, 26 points out of third place. Sigurdarder, Elisa Fuliano, who I don't know much about at all, the Italian, and Katrin Tanya in 6th.
And where is there she is. There's Amy and
yep. So we got Taylor, Amy, Samantha Briggs, and Miss Burke. I'm not going to butcher that first name. In 10th. Point spread here, it's looking like 288 is where you want to be. I mean, Sam Briggs 30 some points out, 42 points out.
I think she'll do well with the legless rope climb.
And what's the last event? Is it some kind of a chipper?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have time to look that up this morning.
Comments on this? Are we going to talk about Katrin's deadlifts like everyone else is?
Oh, well, I'm just saying, the first thing I did when I saw that, I was like, oh, no rep, no rep, no rep, no rep, no rep.
Yeah. It looks like the head judge came up to that guy while she was doing her box jump overs or some other piece of that workout, but he didn't call her on any of them.
Mm-mm.
Well, I think she was accentuating it herself, because every time she would rest, she would then extend her shoulders back.
Yep.
To
like
rest.
She was stretching. Yeah. And we're like, oh, you can do that. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And I thought the second set were way worse than the first set.
I thought the first
was worse. Yeah. I think she started off poorly. The head judge came around. She sort of adjusted a little bit, but not fully. And then I felt like perhaps after her judge was talked to, maybe she figured her luck had run out and that she better go to full extension. I'm not sure. But yeah, that kind of sucked. Took away from the fun of watching it, because that's all I was yelling at the TV about.
Yeah, and I think there's a new group of daughters in the mix.
For sure.
You know, we're used to seeing other daughter names, and Helga daughter and Sigdur's daughter.
Suri is always there, but she isn't somebody who needs a lot of frills, and so I think she's under the radar a lot.
Yeah. She's the Kristen Holte of Iceland.
Yeah, totally.
Did I hear that like Solveig is a full-time police officer?
I don't know. That'd be cool.
And she just does this for fun?
Probably. She's from Iceland. She's like a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all like that. Okay. So yeah, the rope climb event is just about to start at 2 p.m. So at 9 a.m. the women will go. So we'll have more to talk about soon.
Let's go to Koopa, because we'll wait for Justin and Closer to perfect. Guy. I mean, that's a statement.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he only got third in that fourth workout, what happened? That's what I want to know.
My note is Guy can't win them all.
Yeah.
Right. Guy sucks.
But what a beast at that 356. That was awesome. I'm
still trying to figure out who hurt his leg, and I'm still thinking it's that Augustin Richelme guy, because he got 8th in the lift, the 310, which is what he opened up with, I believe, in that event, and then he got 20th in the last event, which might indicate that he's not feeling great, unless I've got it wrong. I wish someone could tell us. I'll have to go back and look at that. Bruno Mars. Did you know Bruno Mars was competing this weekend?
Not.
I didn't know that.
He's vying for that 24 karat gold.
Yeah.
Right?
Versace on the floor, probably.
Oh, my eyes play tricks on me sometimes. Marins, Martins, Majeros, De Rosa, Richel. And what flag is that? Do we know?
That.
Oh, here. I can click on it. Argentina. Are these guys all Brazilian? Okay. That's like a thing, right? Brazil and Argentina, they don't get along, do they? Am I making up history?
I have no idea. Not my strong subject in school.
Making up drama. I think it's one of those things, like if you're Argentinian and someone says, oh, are you from Brazil? Or vice versa. It's kind of like, no, like I'm not from there. Could be wrong. Just trying to add some interest to the conversation. Here, we'll go to the women.
Yeah.
Victoria Campos is the only name I know here.
Yeah, and it's really a two-person race.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. Wow.
We
have the same number of points. Didn't even see that.
Yeah. I guess because one has a first place finish.
Okay. Yeah.
She's officially in first. And then this Claudia Espinosa is from Ecuador. I'm learning. This is good. This is like geography lesson.
Fun with flags.
Laura Gonzalez Maran is from Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's Venezuela and Brazil.
I don't know.
You're trying to cause drama in South America
that's what
may not exist.
Yeah. May not exist. I don't know. Oh, we didn't talk about the teams, though. I just realized.
If you can talk about the teams on Copa Sur, Amy, this is your
right. You win.
No, I cannot. I'm talking about the other.
We can go back to strength and depth and look at the teams. So CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue, and when they've got workout 5 in there now too. So this is updated.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Wow.
and it changed a little bit because CrossFit Mayflower, I believe, used to be in second before today, going into today, and CrossFit Nordic Original, I thought, was in the mix as well. Interesting. Yeah, a little bit of a shakeup there. CrossFit Oslo Navy Blue obviously has it in the bag.
Yeah.
I think there was a little bit of a vying for 5th place.
5th and 6th, they're not far from each other, though.
Yeah, really 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And 7th.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. So there could be some shakeup there after the last workout.
Yeah. And this is like I said, this was the rope climb workout. So
okay,
they're doing it second to last over in Europe, and they're doing it last today at Atlas Games. So let's go Atlas Games. Well, let's go Atlas Games teams because, they don't have their workouts in yet. Oh, because they haven't started yet. Sorry, wrong country. CrossFit Omnia Black, 345. CrossFit Milford Team Conquer, 330. CrossFit Tyrannus Life Tree, 320. CrossFit Pro Montreal, 315. And CrossFit East Woodbridge.
Okay.
It's 310. And that 1855, 275, sort of big separation there, really. Those top 5 seem to be pretty solidly in there, depending on what's going to happen in this team event today. Pro One Montreal is usually up there. That's the team. That's like a name that I recognize. They're sort of always making it to the games. CrossFit Milford Team Conquer, Emma Ferreira, who is on that team. Fun fact, she was in my CrossFit gymnastics seminar as a young, brand new CrossFit athlete, like couldn't do a muscle up at, where was that? That was at Christian Harris's gym up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's where I first met her. So I've been following her for a while now. And she's been like, she pops up on the open sort of randomly, like she'll win workouts in the open. But then ends up always going team typically.
Well, Omnia Black, if you're just casually watching, I thought they were blowing this thing away. And really, their lowest finish is 7th.
But they're
only like 15 points in front.
Yeah. Well, because that Milford team's been pretty consistent with a 1st and a 2nd also.
And that's the team Kelly Stone came from.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Okay. And I think she's there supporting them.
Cool.
Because I think I saw her like grabbing the team and hugging them coming off the floor, but
she might know Emma too. And their girl, I think not Emma, the other girl, I don't know her name. I want to say snatched 205 for her 11th lift. Yeah. Does it tell you? No, it doesn't tell you. Yeah. Somebody yesterday snatched 205 and I was like, oh, damn. That's like,
Hi, Justin.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
So glad you could jump on. I love that whispery voice you have there.
I don't have much more of it.
Right.
I'm saving it.
That's 4 weeks of damage. Oh, man.
I think you have more airtime than any athlete.
Probably.
During these 4 weeks.
Do I? I don't know at this point. I'm just we're doing what we can do, man. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I've only had to watch one on the stream and I'm already sick of you.
I appreciate that, Scott. Thank you.
All right, my first question. When Allie was lifting last night, how distracting was that other coach screaming at his athlete? I was so angry. It was like as if someone was like had like a whistle while she was trying to like lift. He was screaming at her.
It was unprofessional, and in my opinion, just something you don't do. I knew he was doing it on purpose though, because I could see him looking at me and looking at her, and I could tell he was trying to make it about him. That's fine.
I was surprised that we could even hear that the mic even picked that up. But
you realize how loud he was.
It must have. That's what I'm saying. Like he must have been, ultra loud for us to have been able to hear it, because usually there's music and other things happening.
she actually was awesome after. She was like, I didn't even notice until like then we watched it back and she was like, holy shit, because Ralph even was like, that fucking guy.
Yeah, I was screaming at the TV myself.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was just unprofessional. It's fine, you know, it's fine to like give her I think that his athlete's name was Aaron, like, you know, like one like, come on, Aaron, you know, or like a cue.
Right.
But like to do what he was doing,
The
I
whole
was
time
just
he didn't
like,
shut
wow.
up.
I mean, listen, I'm loud and I like, but I also know that there's etiquette. Like there's certain things you do and then certain things you don't do. And listen, you know, what are you gonna do? I mean,
I saw some cameramen getting pretty in front of athletes while they were lifting too, trying to get
cameraman
shots,
walked in front of her twice while she was lifting.
Oh my God.
So listen, I'll tell you, it's a little strange up here. She's had a couple cameramen, like a cameraman. She was in the middle of her, was it her totem bar workout?
Yeah, she was running to the finish line and she had to knock him over.
Oh, even before that,
she
dropped off the bar on like round 3, went to pick up chalk. There was a guy filming there and he kicked her chalk away. She had to go an extra 5 feet to go get chalk. Cost her 2 or 3 seconds. Cost her a couple seconds. So yeah, it's they've had to ask them to get out of the way a couple times while they've been in the lanes and whatnot. This has definitely been like kind of the kookiest with cameramen.
Weird.
I would say. But hey, you know, you roll with it. I'll tell you, she's you know, as far as that stuff is concerned, she's pretty unfazed. She doesn't really let that stuff bother her. You know, just a couple of workouts with some heavy barbells that aren't, you know, per se her favorite, that have kind of, you know, kind of been challenging for her. But we're fighting our ass off, and we got one more day, and you know, I know she's super excited about the legless, and you know, this next one we're gonna just fight and see if we can, you know, kind of claw our way back up.
Can you summarize for us what the next one is? Because we did a poor job of preparing, and I'm not sure I know what it is.
Yeah, it's a long chipper.
It's a chipper, right?
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in it. It's
okay.
Yeah, it's got assault bike, buy in and cash out, but you know, they kind of just threw in, it's kind of similar to what the ski was. It's kind of pointless except for the last 20-25 because you'll be sprinting. But the first 20-25 is kind of a trap. Then you got some double unders, you got some handstand walks, you got 100 wall balls and 100 GHDs, which are straight through. So that's challenging. And then, but by the end of the workout, it kind of keeps coming. Everything is split by those handstand walks. So there's 300 feet of handstand walks. There's 400 dubs split into 2, and then 100 wall balls and 100 GHDs. So, yeah, you know, it's a lot of stuff. And it's to 10 feet, you know, 14 pounds though to 10 feet, but still it's an advantage for the taller girls, of course. But it'll, you know, it's one of those that there are a lot of places where you play to your strengths, right? So if you feel really good about the handstand walk, there's 300 feet there, so you can take advantage. If you're good at dubs, there's 400 of those. So I'm curious to see it. It'll, you know, I feel like you'll see, you'll probably see some of your top athletes, you know, hopefully there'll be some fluctuation there.
Struggle, yeah.
And then I really like the legless as so what's interesting is I really like the legless as the last event, especially for the women, because of the fact that you can have huge fluctuation on the board. And by the end of the weekend, people are fatigued, and those people who are good at legless and excel at legless, it really accentuates that because it's at the end of the weekend, and because you're already fatigued, right? And you see people have to play their own game, and you know, if you want to get in, you got to take a chance, and that chance may pay off. It's high risk, it's high reward, and I think it's an exciting finish. So that
anytime we have to count points and things and do math at the end on the finish line is always very exciting as a viewer too, you know, to not know exactly what's happening is kind of fun.
And one thing we've learned is underdogs can do legless rope climbs.
We've been pretty good at legless so far, so you know, that'll be exciting. And I think realistically, I think the top 5 is probably gone as far as the points are, about 100 points there, but without question, Last Chance is right in mix, and you just keep fighting to keep your season going at this point. You know what I mean?
So just I have a weird observation. You look at the top 10, it is either like 20 and younger, or
crazy,
OG.
Right? I know Carolyn Prevost, right? Like
and Allison, and like it is crazy. The separate, there's like no mid-range experience.
I know, that's
in the
crazy.
top 10.
Yeah, I don't know that I have an explanation for that other than these young girls, man. Wow, it's beyond a movement now. I just think that it's the way it is, and I think we're going to keep seeing it. I've been very impressed with what I've seen. Especially, I just think Emma Lawson is such a great She's such a great mover. Like that's the thing that I'm so impressed with is, there are other really young athletes who are good, and who are, but they're kind of like brutes a little bit, and and I think when you get to the games and you have a lot of running and a lot of long chippers and a lot of things that, test you, I think people are going to be exposed. Certain athletes will be exposed. I don't think she's one of them. I think she's legitimate. It wouldn't surprise me if she goes to the games and finishes top 15, really, which I think for someone at 17 is astonishing.
Crazy.
Because I know she's really good at running. I know she's supposedly a very good swimmer. I think she's just a very good mover. And I know, listen, she's probably been doing CrossFit for most of the people on the floor, if we're being honest. Right? She's been doing it for 10 years.
Right. Her training age. She's got an old training age.
And you're training her at an age when she's pliable, a lot more pliable versus getting stuck in your movement patterns,
Right. Exactly. So, but yeah, but it's nice to see some of the older war horses out there, they're still doing their thing. I've always liked Caroline. I just think she's tough, and she's always been very, very pleasant with me. And anytime we've she was pretty cool with Carrie, so I always kind of liked her. And I have never been up here before, so it's been cool to be up.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what is Canada like, really?
So
are you surprised?
So far I can give you a review of Canada.
Yes, please.
So food has been delicious. The Ubers have sucked. There's something called cottonwood that it looks like cotton.
Yeah, we have it here. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like it's snowing.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. So anybody who has allergies,
allergic to it.
Oh man, that's got to be brutal because it's literally snowing outside as you walk down the street, and it's all cottonwood. The weather has been. Yesterday was nice, but I think it was the only day we had any sun, and I'm kind of such a sun snob now, being in Vegas. Yeah. But everyone's been cool, man. I've enjoyed it. I've had a good time. I've really enjoyed being up here with Allie and Roth, and it's the first time she and I really been able to spend, kind of one-on-one, and it's been great. I told her last night, I said, listen, no matter what's going on, there's no place that I would rather be than right here with you. You know what I mean? Like and it's true. It really is. These are the experiences you can never get back. Like you get them, and they're things that you cherish forever. And she's such a fighter, and she's trying so hard, and she's really good at CrossFit. And it's just, there seems to be a couple things that, kind of stand in the way, but we're going to keep fighting our ass off. And that's just her nature. She's not going to make excuses. She's just going to keep fighting.
So one thing I wanted to ask you, Justin, just because you've had have athletes with all different heights and sizes and all that, and we saw the notes, that Atlas wasn't going to raise the pull-up bars and all that. So okay, I'm hearing that. But then but you're also allowing the athletes to be lifted up to the rings.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious your thoughts as a coach. What do you think about
Well, listen, I think we're going to see some pretty major changes. I don't think, it's unfortunate that that some of the things that have gone on have had to have gone on for changes to occur. I think we all saw with Matt last weekend that if we raise that pull-up bar another 4 to 6 inches, he's probably going to Madison. And that's tough to take, when it's not a fitness issue and it's an equipment issue. But in the same terms, yesterday you saw that with only one riser, there were some athletes that couldn't reach the rings, and so they've got to find a way to create a level playing field equipment wise for all the athletes so that they have an equal opportunity. And we're not there yet. Let's be honest, we're not. But but at the end of the day, it's taken taken a lot of crying out to get it kind of looked at. And now, between what happened to Matt and, I think Morning Chalkup's going to be writing an article, they interviewed me and Matt about it. There's a lot of other things that are going on that need to go on to create a better sport. So, I think you're going to see some pretty major changes, if not for the games this season, then certainly for all of next season. I would be shocked. I think there'll just be such a ridiculous outcry for it. So,
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we have a new guest with us, Callista Lang, currently sitting in 8th place in that last chance qualifier position. We're so happy you could join us. Have you met Justin Cotler before?
A while back, I did the USA Functional Fitness. So a while back, but it's been a little bit.
I remember Callista.
So Callista, you're having a pretty good weekend, pretty consistent. What are your thoughts going into today?
Leave it all out on the floor. Gonna die before I quit. Just give it everything I got.
So this is your first individual attempt at a semifinal. Any takeaways from the weekend?
Definitely different than coming here with a team. I was pretty much by myself for most of the weekend. Very, very different. When you have those people around you to kind of make sure that you're eating and fueling properly and making sure that you're not warming up too soon, not warming up too late. It's a little different. So definitely some big takeaways from this weekend that I'll make sure to do during my next Indy comp for sure.
And who has your coach's pass?
Mike Verado with Sports Pacific Power. Okay. Yeah.
And Justin, I'm going to let you know if you need to get going with Allison or anything, you're free to jump off. If you want to ask Calista a question, you're free to do that too.
Calista, how are you on legless rope climbs? Can we put some separation between you and Justin's athlete, please?
Don't give away
that event.
Are you excited for that?
I'm excited for that event. Yep.
Now we've seen a bunch of people do this workout and it's been first or early on in the competition. So being last, like what kind of strategies, how does that make it a little bit different for you when preparing for that workout?
I definitely had a lot of time to practice it, different strategies. I've done it with the weight vests. I've done just to kind of simulate that like fatigue factor, especially it being our last event too. It's not going to feel as good as if it was our first event. So
sure. I
definitely feel like I had a lot of practice with it and I'm confident going into that event. Yeah.
What about the chipper?
I'm so excited for the chipper. These last events today are probably my favorite throughout the entire weekend. I love handstand walking. I love GHDs. And I actually love that it ends with a bike sprint because I just feel like you can just like sell your soul and die. If you're not on the floor by the end of that, I feel like you didn't do it right. So I'm really excited to just like go out there and die on that event.
I've never seen someone so smiley about wanting to get on the floor and die.
It's what I do. It's what I train for every year, you know? It's like, got to make sure you give it your all and don't leave anything out on that floor. It's like, just give it your all. So
yeah, and you're in that last qualifying spot right now for that last chance qualifier. So it really is whatever you can control, you need to control 1,000% because girls are coming after you, and you definitely have a target on your back. And like I said, other things can happen to shake up that leaderboard. You just have to, do what you can do to control your own performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And going into that event too, I just need to make sure I run my own race and stick to the plan that I made with my coach and don't do anything differently, because was my struggle when I first kind of started doing individual comps. Is I would have a plan and then I'd go out on the floor and see girls doing different things, and I would just like foot on the gas, just go out hot and then kind of die off. So this weekend I've been really practicing coming up with a plan and sticking with it. And I really was proud of how I executed event 2. My coach and I decided to go in to the total bar workout with sets of 8. And at first I was like, sets of 8, like that's not a lot. And girls are going to go out there and probably do first set of 24 unbroken. I'm just going to like hop off the bar. So I was like nervous, but my coach was like, just trust me, it will pay off during like the 3rd or 4th round. So I listened and it paid off. So that's one thing I really got to like learn to pull the reins in a little bit when it comes to going out on the floor, especially with being in the 3rd heat and with other women that are so good.
Yeah, and that's hard to do too, especially with toes to bar, with gymnastics, because you go out and you feel so good. I know every single person I've ever coached, even just in a classroom workout where I've said, hey, why don't you break these up into smaller sets? 100% of the time they all go till failure the first time, and they'll come down and they'll look at me and they're like, but it felt so good, and then the next 3 sets they're at 1s and 2s because they went out too fast. So I know even as an athlete, that's just so hard. That trust factor is difficult, especially when you see people flying through them and, getting ahead of you. It's like, you just want to go.
Yeah. And especially being event 2 as well. Like we're still all kind of fresh, still feeling a little bit good. So, but I was happy with how that went. Yeah.
And Justin, from a coach's perspective, how hard is it to get your athlete to trust you in those plans?
Depends on the athlete, right?
Depends on the athlete. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think it depends on the athlete. I also think it depends on experience level. And, I also think one of the you guys know me, one of the big things that I develop with my athletes very early on is trust. If you don't have trust between a coach and an athlete, then it's a pretty useless situation. Yeah. So developing trust and the athlete understands, once the athlete understands that you have their best interest in mind and that like, you're kind of there to ride or die with them no matter what, so once they know that, and once this trust is established, I haven't found that it's too hard. I think you guys would probably be able to pick out the athletes of mine that have been a challenge. She has bright pink hair. But not this year, that was last year. This year, obviously, she's a different beast, and we saw that obviously at the MAC. But it's, I think Calista obviously shows a lot of maturity by what she just said, because I think it's hard. I think she's about 20, 21 years old. I know it's a challenge at that age. You just feel like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. And it's not always the best decision. And having blinders on and playing your own race is super important. And creating a plan with your coach that you can execute, that maximizes your point value. That's the name of the game.
And Calista, you seem to be soaking it all in and just enjoying the process this weekend. Was there anything that surprised you in the first 4 events in your own performance?
Not really. Things are pretty much going to plan. The first event actually didn't go as well as I wanted it to. But other than that, I feel like I've executed 2 and 3 to what I kind of expected. The lift was a little intimidating just because it hasn't gone great in practice. So I just kind of was like, I'll just ride the adrenaline. My last jump was a little risky, but honestly, I'm probably most proud of event 4, just because my strength has come such a long way. Even if it's not one of the top numbers, personally, I know that last year, if I tried to hit that complex at 210, I'd probably hit 1 clean. That would be it. So I was really, really proud of that, no matter where I ended up on the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's a great point. And we've heard that from a lot of athletes. I interviewed Hannah Morochuk last week, and she was saying that, if she got 195, she'd be elated. And she hit 195, and she had like the biggest celebration after her lift. And, to anybody watching that didn't know her plan or didn't know what she was trying to accomplish, they would have looked at that and been like, meh, 195, big whoop. And, I made sure to like send her a note afterwards and congratulate her, because that was her big moment. And a lot of times you're prouder of the things that you do that aren't necessarily top of leaderboard, but such great, examples of your training and what you've been working on for so long. So that's really cool. I have a quick question about the lift. Do you practice on a platform?
No.
How does that change things at all for you? Does that surface feel different?
Not really.
No,
I mean,
okay.
I feel like for us, it was a little bit better. Like at the Granite Games, you saw kind of all of the turf on the wood, and that can get slippery.
Yeah.
And if there was sweat on the wood, maybe it would be a little different. But for us, I feel like they did a good job at cleaning it. And I mean, I think lifting on wood feels better.
Okay.
Just because sometimes in a CrossFit gym, the mats can get sweaty, you'll slip, or you'd be like a sandy part. I don't know. I've slipped on the mats plenty of times when I'm lifting. So
Okay.
I personally like the wood, but I never really practice on it.
What about you, Justin? Do you have platforms where you're at?
No, we don't have them in Vegas. But I feel like it's really been interesting to see just the difference in like humidity levels and all the, like being at, but Granite had, there was these little like black pellets that were everywhere that
they're all over my house.
Oh my gosh, dude.
From the lacrosse field.
So that was a challenge, but didn't seem to be an issue yesterday, which was nice. You saw a lot of people slipping at Granite, so it was good. Yeah, because that can get dangerous too.
I have to tell a funny story. Every time Justin would come up from the field, he would sit behind where I was standing and beat the hell out of his shoes, trying to get those rubber pellets out of his shoes.
I felt like I was walking on rubber pellets all weekend.
They go everywhere.
Everywhere. It's like no matter how much I was shaking them out of my shoes, they were constantly in my shoes. Yeah, it was
they get in body parts too.
Oh,
they get like in your ears
brutal.
and your nose. If you're doing like burpees on the turf, it's I can't imagine that. That's fun.
Somehow they're on the floor here in Montreal, so I don't know. They followed me up here. Guys, I got to check out.
Thank you so much, Justin.
My pleasure.
Good luck to Allie.
Always a pleasure. Callista, I'll see you in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you, Justin.
Well,
awesome. I'm excited for you, Callista. This is great.
Thank you. I'm really, really excited for this last day.
Yeah, it's so fun, like getting to know you just last week, and watching you out on the floor has been amazing.
Thank you.
You're out there with the big dogs, and that's got it. So have you gained any confidence or any belief in yourself this weekend, being out there running with them on every heat?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, just this whole off season and this season in general has really been about building confidence in myself. Even going into quarters, for some reason, I was lacking confidence, and I didn't even think that I would qualify for a semi. And then to see myself do well on the quarters leaderboard was a huge boost of confidence. And then competing at the Fittest Experience and podiuming there was huge for my confidence as well. So this whole season has just really been about building confidence, and being able to go out in the third heat each event has been amazing. And it's crazy how amazing all these athletes are. And for someone that like trains alone, it's hard sometimes to gauge. You think you're in the gym, you think you crush this workout, and then you go out on the floor and people are running it like twice as fast as you, and you're like, holy crap. Like, that's insane. So it's been really awesome to be able to work out with them and kind of race with them side by side for sure.
Well, we want to thank you so much for jumping on with us and taking time out of a very, very busy weekend. We are in your corner today.
Thank
so
you.
go out there and kill it, and we'll be watching on the stream.
Yeah, good
Thank
luck.
you so much. Yeah,
have
thanks,
fun,
guys.
Callista. Thank you. Very cool.
Yeah. All right.
Back to leaderboard.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are. Okay.
Emma
Who has
Lawson,
Paige- Who has Paige Powers on their fantasy?
Not me.
not me.
Okay.
I think Charlie maybe, or Dave.
Probably Dave.
Probably
Well,
Dave.
not me. I didn't even do it this week, so
Yeah.
no wonder I couldn't remember any of my picks. You guys kept asking, like, "Did you pick that person?" I'm like, "Who did I pick?" Oh, I didn't
So-
pick it.
All right, sorry. Go ahead. But
Yeah.
Tori Dyson has surprised me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that she's in 7th.
She's
mean-
gonna struggle with that 10-foot wall ball target. She's
Yeah.
like 4'11",
Yeah, she will.
But
and the
still,
rope
for
climb.
a girl that's retired,
Right.
a lady that's retired, to be in the top 10 running with the main heat is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like she accidentally qualified for semis, and now she's looking at last chance qualifier right now.
My fantasy team is 4 and 5, so I just need them to move up just a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Freya's been really impressive.
So impressive.
She seems super composed, and Emma Lawson too. Like Justin was saying, like she moves so well, and she seems like unaffected emotionally, by any of this. She's just like, she's there, she has a job to do, and she does it, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see Paige doing so well. I know Paige was on a team for MacFest in November, and I think her team won. But it was just cool to see her in that sort of community vibe setting, and now all of a sudden, 6 months later, like she's dominating a semifinal. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and she's moved to Cookeville. She was in Detroit at the other mayhem that Darren Hunsacker's running.
Mm-hmm.
And moving to Cookeville, that's had to make a difference. She just looks more confident on the floor.
Yeah.
They're pretty 4th and 5th are very close. Well, I guess 4th, okay, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are very close. Right there.
Yep.
Points.
Yeah, that could switch up. Did you guys know that Caroline Connors and Austin Spencer got married 2 weeks ago?
No.
I
Yeah,
heard that on the
I
live
heard the
stream.
story, and they were begging CrossFit not to send them to the MAC
because that was
because
the
that
weekend
was
of their
their
wedding.
wedding weekend.
Oh, shoot.
So they're both looking at qualifying spots to the games. So if we look at the men, we've got Pat Vellner, Jeff Adler, Alexander Caron, Alex Bino, and then Austin Spencer. Our guy Nicholas Joyal is, right there with just 3 points away from a qualifying position as well. Had a rough day 2. Not sure how things will go for him on day 3, but seemingly because of his performance on day 1 kind of looks more like day 3 than yesterday did. So
yeah.
So I think you said it is pronounced Cedric Lepointier.
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 I don't know. Poor Adrian. Adrian was good. He had it better yesterday, but on day 1, he was adding like 8 syllables to his last name. But he's doing a great job, by the way. I really enjoy his commentary.
You notice what the change was, that he went to the tie-dye Kyle Ruth shirt.
For
and ever
Cedric,
since
you
he
mean?
switched to that, his finishes have been much better.
You're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is like his signature look too. I'm always used to seeing him in that. Let's
Jack
go.
Harlow with that first place on the strength.
Oh my gosh.
My goodness. That looks so easy too.
So easy. And let's talk about these fractional plates because no one else has had fractional plates.
Yeah.
347.5. What is that about?
I know, but I use them all the time when I'm going for a PR.
Yeah. It's just interesting because there aren't any ties. But if you look at all the other semifinals, there have been a ton of tied scores.
Well, there are ties.
Yeah,
that
but
317.5.
at the other
Yeah, but-
three North American ones,
they
there
were
was
they were all
no-
tied, you know.
So
Yeah.
Because
they
you can
were
only-
all 5-pound increments.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So those are our leaderboards, guys.
Yeah, and Alex Vigneault, because I interviewed him, you know, you follow the people that you
Yeah.
get to know.
Mhm.
He hit 320 on that lift last night, and you would have swore he hit 400 with the celebration he had after. And it
Yeah,
goes
that was
back
awesome.
to your point, Kat, with Callista, that
Mhm.
nobody knows what the plans are. And like when you hit that, because if you're doing your plan right, the first one's safe, the second one is, you know, kind of down the middle, and the last one is a reach.
Yep.
And when you hit that reach, they're celebrating like they won the Super Bowl, and it's really cool to see.
It really is.
And I think that's what we would do in the gym too. And so it's cool to kind of see that emotion
Absolutely.
out of pro athletes.
Yeah. Because as much as they're competing, it's also an individual sport, right? I mean, like you're trying to do the best you can. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to see what's going on with this legless event.
You know, I forgot to look at Ellie Terrence Hiller. She was
so the women are going at strength and depth, by the way, for their legless.
Okay.
We can't show it, I don't think, but
No.
I'm watching. They've got the camera on Katrin, of course.
Okay. Well,
So
anyways, she was doing really well.
yeah,
Talk
she
amongst
fell off
yourselves.
a little bit yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. She did. Okay.
By memory, I think she's 14th.
Okay. I knew that the strength was one thing, but
Who's this?
Ellie Terrence Hiller.
Oh yeah, let's see. We can go find her. She's in Atlas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Don't tell.
21st.
Okay. She moved all the way to 21st. Overall.
She had a 29th and a 30th yesterday. Yesterday was not a good day. But again, like we said, day one's more like day three, or day three events are more like day one events. So she could sort of even that out a little bit. Stacy Laushen's doing great too. She had a decent first day. They keep calling her Stacy Lucian, and it's Laushen. And I talked to my buddy Mike Richard, and he got it right, but the broadcast booth has not gotten that memo yet.
Yeah.
How about the maturity level of Calista at 20?
Yeah, I would have never have guessed that's how old she was. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. Sorry. I was just scrolling
I didn't
on
mean
the leaderboard. I thought it was being shared.
You're like that commercial with the
Oopsie.
person like flicking up through the,
Oh yeah.
Right.
and all you see is a face.
All right, kids.
Oopsie.
Yep.
All
Well,
right,
let's
so
call
wait,
this
someone's
one.
about to win.
Don't tell us.
Someone won.
Yeah, don't say. I want to go watch it.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, someone okay. Yeah, you guys need to go watch it.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. We're gonna be happy.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Well,
All right,
we'll
watch
probably
CrossFit.
do a wrap-up show tonight, is my guess, because they're going to end early today. We'll try to see if we can line up a few guests, and I'm going to see Top Gun Maverick
Yeah. Finally.
finally, and then I'm going to come home and I'm going to speed watch
Okay.
everything.
Perfect. Because you got the need for speed.
Yeah,
You'll see that in Top Gun. Okay.
All right, guys. Here's what
All right,
you're
because
gonna
I
do.
was inverted.
Oh, I love it. Yes. You're gonna wait like 4 or 5 minutes,
Okay.
then go to the stream, then rewind 10 minutes, and
Okay.
you'll be good.
All
But
right.
all I have to say is it's 4:53, and the athlete that I love to hate is still on the rope.
Okay.
So you know.
Got it. I know who you're talking about. That's
Cool.
good. All right.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Did someone
Oh.
make a prediction Thursday that may be coming true?
Yeah, for sure. Couple predictions that might be coming true.
All right.
Good stuff. All right,
Well,
talk
I
to you
will
later.
talk to you tonight.
All right,
We'll see you
ya.
next time.